And again, tonight, even more examples of how soft on crime policies, they're making every community less safe, less secure. And we're now learning details about how a lenient New York City judge let a known gang member free to allegedly kill an innocent father. 16-year-old Alberto Ramirez had his bail reduced by a Bronx judge back in March, despite multiple gun arrests, 3 and 4 months. But he got back out on the street, no bail laws in New York, and, of course, $1 billion cut to the NYPD. And now he's accused of killing a 34-year-old father of 2. But the attacks on law and order in New York City, it doesn't stop there. Now, look at this disturbing video of an Asian police officer being repeatedly abused with racial slurs during a recent encounter at Washington Square Park in New York City. Here to react to all of this, Trey Pennie, 22-year Dallas police sergeant, president of the National Fallen Officer Foundation. We've lost almost 130 officers in the line of duty, along with Sean Sticks Larkin. By the way, he's the author of Breaking Blue, real-life stories of cops falsely accused, and also was co-host with Dan Abrams of a show I like, Live PD. Trey, let me start with you. I've known you a long time. You see what officers are going through. I mean, how many times do you have to arrest somebody on a gun violation before you realize letting them out is a bad idea and that they're likely going to kill somebody?
Yeah, Sean, we've seen over and over again that these bail reform and parole and probation reform ideas, they don't work. I mean, there's empirical evidence that exists already, and it's forcing our police officers to work even harder to protect our communities. Unfortunately, our judges don't get it. Our judges are suffering from this not-me syndrome, this syndrome that allows these individuals to disassociate themselves from the consequences that they put into our communities, and our communities are suffering because of it, unfortunately. And I say, bottom line is, we need to get rid of these violent offenders. We need to remove them from our society. We got to change our ideas and the way that we think about dealing with prison reform in this country. We can't keep this revolving door open to allow these individuals that are these sex offenders and violent predators to keep circulating into our society. We have to go ahead and lay the hammer down and move to the idea of focusing on punishment and retribution instead of allowing these individuals to victimize us in society.
You know, Sean, one of the reasons I love shows like Cops. I loved Live PD because, and I love that I've been pushing for years. I think every cop needed, a body cam. So for good and bad, we know what happened. It gives us perspective. And, we've lost almost 130 officers in the line of duty. But shows like yours, shows like Cops, teach the public how hard that job is, what they're going through. Look at these videos. People have no respect for cops anymore. They're beating up cops. A cop in San Francisco needed the public to help save the cop.
Yeah, and that was the beauty of Live PD, was it gave an honest perspective of what was going on for law enforcement across the country. It showed the big, urban areas in the cities. It showed the small country areas. People got an honest look of what was going on, not the little clips that are, highlights to kick off the news at night where people can attack the police or come after us. It showed what we really deal with day in and day out. And, all these things got pulled off the air last year. And so, our fingers are crossed, things like that come back, because I received so many messages from people that had no idea what we deal with on a daily basis. And I'm talking even from criminals themselves, people that were anti-police. Once they watched that show, they saw the things we actually deal with. Again, not the little highlights that people like to pass around on social media that make the police look bad, what it really is.
Yeah, and I think that is key. We also saw what happened, Trey, with George Floyd. And we had a nation rightly outraged. That is not how police officers are trained in any way, shape, manner, or form. But the question is now we have open hostility against police officers. The guy who burned down the police precinct got, 2 years in jail. And the judge said, I'm being more lenient because, you're really a good person. I don't think good people burn down police precincts, Trey.
Of course not. Of course not. And we're giving these criminals a pass. I mean, that's unfortunate. That's where the leftist progressives are moving America right now, is trying to protect the criminals as opposed to protecting the victims. And I think we have to do a better job of trying to advocate for the people who can't protect themselves. And let's think about it. These violent offenders are coming home and they're they're recidivating all over again. We've seen last year the 20,000 murders that happened in the United States. About 6,800 of them were individuals that were already on supervised on probation or parole. And we see that those individuals just won't do right, and we have to do something to hold them accountable. And I'm one of these people that say we have to protect our police, we have to protect our communities, and get these individuals out of our society.
Last 30 seconds, Sean, I'll give it to you. They're now we have defund and dismantle police. Now they're talking about getting rid of indemnification, which would mean every cop would have to hire their own lawyers. And that means every criminal will sue every time they get arrested. That will be the end of policing in America. Agree or disagree?
Totally agree. You're already seeing it. Police officers are leaving in droves right now, and we are having a very, very difficult time filling these police academies. It is happening in every major city across the country. Those type of things are going to punish us, and we're going to pay for it in the years to come.
All right, Sean, congrats on your book. I hope Live PD is back. Trey, always good to see you. If you are a patriot, you're going to love our video.